You just sound like you're completely lacking in all confidence for this, honestly.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very confident. So this is the third episode of Late Night Shyamalan.
This is the 5th episode.
No, this is... Wait, 5th? No, it's the 3rd episode.
This is the 5th episode, everybody. So if you haven't seen the original 4 episodes, please go back and watch them on a dedicated...
But that's not the only thing special about this episode. It's also the first live episode.
I know, the first live episode. And you know what? I'm gonna toot my own horn here. I'd like to take some credit for this.
Please make sure you follow our Patreon as well as our Twitter and Facebook
Patreon.
pages.
Yeah, you're only able to make $10 donations. That's the very least you can make. But the thing is, if you do that, then you'll know that it
You'll become a dedicated fan, which gives you all sorts of perks, like
they'll be able to like come
you
in
can
for
brag
a-
about being a dedicated fan to your friends.
Yeah, you get bragging rights on the playground, you know? You can just like go up, some bitch is messing with you, you can just walk up, slap him across the face and be like, look here you hoe,
Whoa.
I'm a dedicated
Whoa.
fan. You don't want to mess with all this?
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, my ideal breakfast would have to be a nice bowl of mashed potatoes. Like, you ever get a little bit of minced mashed potatoes from the night before and some shredded cheese, and you make a homemade cottage pie or shepherd's pie. And
For
it's-
breakfast?
Yeah, for breakfast.
No.
You don't...
No.
Honestly, you should try it.
Is that a thing that's done?
Well, no, but I do it, so... Maybe.
I like old, not old, but like leftover
you like
butter
old
chicken.
people.
I like old butter chicken. Ancient butter chicken.
The older the better.
Yeah.
Man, I was really upset today. I looked in the
Yeah.
kitchen, because I invited Otto and the other guy around. I can't remember his name.
But, the guy, Nico?
Well, I invited them around and they cleaned my pantry, which was really great. I didn't actually have to do anything. I just sat on the couch and watched them do it.
Oh yeah,
But,
because you put that
it was
thing
like-
about having a big chore that you needed to do.
Yeah. And
Oh.
nobody else helped, which was really disappointing
I
for
was
me.
in Australia,
Anyway.
I couldn't help.
I found some, you could have FaceTimed in or something.
Right.
But I found
okay.
some Himalayan natural rock salt, which was really interesting because I didn't know that salt could actually be alive for 300 years.
Wait,
I
really?
guess that makes it the oldest. It expires in 2 years, which is, thank God they dug it up in time. But I mean, 300 years old, that must make it the oldest living thing in the galaxy.
Is that like what makes Himalayan rock salt so special? It's just like really old salt.
Yeah, it's just old salt.
It's not even from the Himalayas.
I doubt that a lot of it is.
Yeah, honestly, it's like your mate Terry is probably has like a wee garage where he's growing Himalayan rock salt, and he has it under a lamp where he dry ages it. You know, like
What
I'd
is
say that's how it's made.
This is the one and only salt dedicated podcast
Yeah.
for all your salt needs.
Like honestly, we are very firm believers that in order to make a good podcast, all you need is a little bit of salt. You got that. You got everything. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Hey, you know how we called
Yeah.
Late Night Shyamalan instead of Late Night anything else?
Yeah.
Well, I watched a M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce his last name? Is it Shyamalan or Shyamalan?
Yeah,
Well, it's the name of the podcast, so. Just
But I didn't name it. Aiden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or, what did I call you in the introduction?
Darren. No.
Doesn't
Aaron.
matter. I'm Aiden, by the way. I'm not Leo M.
Really?
Um,
Damn, what a amazing plot twist. That
I watched
good
the
old
movie,
Shyamalan plot twist.
Split. You know the movie Split?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I watched Unbreakable before, and it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Have you guys seen Unbreakable?
I don't know.
Is that the one about the people with the superpowers, or is that something different?
No, you are correct.
Okay.
So it's like Bruce Willis plays this guy who gets in a train accident where the train derails and like he's the only one surviving out of like 168 people exactly and a half people.
What the
And it turns out actually he's unbreakable. He can't get like damaged at all. But his weakness is water. I find that the weakness to water is a common theme in multiple.
Does he ever say the name of the movie in like dialogue? Like,
whoa, I'm unbreakable. No, he doesn't. I mean, it was like kind of good, I guess, because it's a bit darker. Am I allowed? Should I spoil it? Am I allowed to spoil it?
Yeah, go ahead.
just do a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning!
This is a spoiler warning for the film Unbreakable. It's worth as Unbreakable.
You're gonna make more people leave, alright?
Well, so basically, like, he goes throughout this journey. It turns out, actually, he's unbreakable, but he's also psychic, so he can, like, touch somebody and see all of the bad things that they've done in their life. So, like, he works as a security guard at the place where the people go to watch football, the Coliseum, and they're like, when people touch him, like, M. Night Shyamalan himself touches him, and he finds out actually he's carrying a drug somewhere, like a crumb of drug, and he's like, well, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
And he pulls him over and he's like, what is this about? This guy's clearly nervous. He's done something wrong. He's searching him. He cavity searches him. He does all sorts of like... What is cavity search?
It's where they basically check your asshole for potential illegal substance.
No, he did not do that. I thought cavity search was just going through your pockets.
No.
Hang on,
because
I'm
your
gonna
pockets
Google
are
this.
a cavity. Anyway, he searches this guy. It turns out he does not have any drugs on him, so he just lets him go out into the wilderness.
Have a wilderness to run free and be with the children.
And he tries to stop another guy who has a gun, but he pulls out of line, and then Elijah Price follows him down the stairs and breaks all of the bones in his body.
Okay, now that's, I'm gonna be honest. Is that a little morbid? Yes.
I mean, kind of. He's a bit of a dick, though, because the whole point of the movie was that it turns out actually Elijah Price, spoiler!
Yep, spoiler warning.
Has been the one orchestrating all of the different... He's, like, caused train accidents and car derailments or other way around, sorry. And, he burnt down a building and he blew up in a museum, all because he was born with, like, really fragile bones. So if he touches them, they, like, break. And so he lives under the theory that if somebody as weak as him can exist, then, somebody really strong's got to exist as well. So he orchestrates all these, like, horrible bombings and stuff to try and find this guy. Yeah. And then...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you ever watch that clip of, like, an old 70s movie where there's, like, a Russian guy, Rusky on the ground, and he's pulled out, like, he's on the ground, and the action hero, he looks he's like a Tom Selleck lookalike. He's got the handlebar moustache and, not the handlebar, the big, thick, looks like a little sausage on his face. And he puts him on the ground, he knocks him out, and then he's like, I'm not going to kill you because that would be wrong. Instead, I'm going to send you to jail for 1,000 years. For a really long time. Yeah. It may as well be 1,000 years. And
basically like life in prison.
This guy, this damn Russian man, gangster, hitman, terrorist, pulls out a gun and starts to try and shoot this action hero. And quick as a flash, with the reflexes of like a toad or something, he pulls out a rocket launcher that was hooked into a little like groove in his... You know, like those assassins' hidden blades?
Yeah.
It's like that, except it's a little rocket launcher, and he fires it at him, and this guy just explodes into nothingness.
But wait,
it was great.
I'm getting a little confused here. So the man who's invincible pulls out a rocket launcher.
No. Let me. Sorry. This sequence where he blows him up with a rocket launcher then follows like the film freeze frames, and it says it like goes to the corpse of this guy who's just been exploded, and it's like Richard Harris, age 31, was then sent to prison for 12 years after questioning by the police. He lived to be the age of 180, and like after he's been exploded.
Yeah.
And that's how Unbreakable ended as well. He confronts him, and then Samuel L. Jackson is cackling as David Dunn walks away up the stairs, and he's like ignoring him. And he's like, "I did all of this. I'm your mortal enemy.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Glass, the enemy of you." And then it freeze frames on Elijah Price's face, and it's like, Elijah Price, age 35, was later sent to prison for 35 years. He's now currently in a mental institute.
Right,
And then it cuts back to David Dunn, and he's like, David Dunn, age 35, is now living in California, and he lives in California.
Right, Alex, I gotta say, the podcast is living up to its name now.
It truly is a late night. Whoa, oh god, it's pretty late now. It's 11:06.
Damn,
Yeah, it's been
11:06.
15 minutes and we've talked about,
We just talked about
Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable. We've talked about many compelling subjects. But, you
I wouldn't
Oh.
recommend. So in conclusion, I wouldn't recommend Unbreakable, but I would recommend Split. Actually, I have a lot to talk about Split, but I feel like I've talked for a while.
Let's save it for the next episode. Also, I just want to alert, just point out that through this,
There was a
I have
spoiler.
been eating a microwave pudding,
Okay.
which I just realized may have appeared in my
Some
recording.
of our audience may be allergic to.
If you're watching this and you are definitely allergic to microwavable pudding, then
Yeah.
may we kindly ask that you please fuck off.
Is microwavable pudding like the pudding that you get in cups and then
Yeah,
you have to reheat it?
Well, it's like the cups, and then you peel off the
Is it actually pudding, or is it like a steamed pudding?
Yeah, is it like
What?
spotted dick? You know, how you
Ah.
sort of...
I don't know if it's that. It's just like the cakes with the syrup on top.
Aiden, he said dick without even realizing it.
Jesus, Alex. Very mature of you. Okay, stop. Aiden,
Right.
I control this podcast, and by God, you do
Alright,
it
Jacob.
again.
I mean, Greg,
Yes.
introduce us to a new topic of conversation, please.
A new topic of conversation. Well, one
Yes.
thing I've been finding absurdly unbelievable is that the fact that this last week, have you guys noticed the fact that you are basically baking like a potato if you step outside? Like,
If you step outside, you say.
yeah, if you step outside. No, by that, I'm like, Christ, 30 days ago, it
Well, I
hit,
mean, there's a
like-
clear flaw in your plan right there, and that's assuming that everybody has stepped outside. I have not stepped
right.
outside in 3 days.
I forgot that
Um,
the two of you are hermits.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I love my cave.
it's weird because lately weather's just been like upside down. In Australia and New Zealand, we've been getting like, in Australia they've been hitting like 40 degrees. We've been hitting around 30. But in America, they're at negative 30 degrees.
Well,
It's because you're in
Yeah.
a different hemisphere.
Well, obviously, my theory is that this is the apocalypse, and it's
Mm.
finna be lit soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm on the lookout for some
Oh
big
my
trucks.
god, guys! I know what's happened.
What?
The Earth has continued to rotate,
Alright.
but the core of the Earth has stopped. So the temperatures have started to skyrocket in the two different sections of the Earth.
Like
so what
Ice
we need to do is send a team of explosive specialists down to the center of the Earth and set off a bomb to
reignite
restart
it.
the spinning of the Earth's core.
Of course. That's quite logical. But myself personally, I have a better theory about how we can solve the temperature here. Now, have you guys watched Futurama?
Yes.
Wolf it.
Now, how they deal with global warming is that they put a giant ice cube in the ocean, and every couple of years, you know, they have to replace it. Oh, I think we did just get a subscriber.
Thus solving the problem once and for all.
I know.
Um,
No, sorry. But anyways, moving back to what we were talking about. So in Futurama, how they deal with global warming is they get like this giant 50-foot ice cube and put it in the ocean. But the problem is, global warming keeps getting worse. So, answer this. How do they solve
Just use a
it?
bigger ice cube.
Exactly, that's exactly what they do. Every like 50 years, they just put a bigger ice cube in the ocean.
Gosh, I'll tell you something though. The 50-foot ice cube really takes up room in the freezer. You can barely fit anything else in there.
I don't think that there's anyone alive who hasn't seen that clip.
Okay, yes. But the thing is, I do think that's how. In all seriousness, I do.
What about the Queen?
Wait,
Aiden?
the Queen?
Yeah, what about the Queen?
Maybe you should think before you speak, Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden. Do we?
You
Yeah.
think the Queen hasn't seen...
Has
I think the Queen hasn't seen anything.
I think the
Queen has been dead for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I'd say the Queen has been dead since January the 5th.
Ah, of course. But no, speaking of the Queen, have you seen like those conspiracy theories where people believe that the Queen is a cannibal, and the reason why she survived to be so old is not because, you know, she's the Queen and therefore has access to the best medical insurance possible, but because she eats children to preserve her life. And this
obviously.
Yeah, and this isn't something I'm making up on the spot. You can search it up right now. The Queen, like, people...
Yeah, there is evidence to support this claim. People have seen clips of the Queen eating a baby.
Like,
Shut the
during
fuck up.
her royal Christmas speech, she'll like, go over to the side, she'll pull out a newborn infant, and take a couple of nibbles out of the side of its rib cage. You know, just having a nice wee,
No, shut up!
What?
Aiden just went yum yum and I thought he was going somewhere. I thought he was going somewhere with that.
Oh, no.
Mummy likes.
But yeah, but I heard that, and I'm just like, how the fuck can people believe stuff like that? Like,
Maybe we should, like, be careful because the Queen is actively known to watch Twitch.
Right.
Twitch
channels.
streams.
Like, before I even
The
know
favourite
it,
game
she
is
could be,
Fortnite.
You know the Queen actually supports the Fire gaming movement?
What's the Fire gaming movement? I haven't actually...
Fire is a North Korean gaming team.
Wait, a North Korean gaming team?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
What video games do they
They're
have in
only
North
allowed to
Korea?
play games between 6 and 7 on Tuesdays. No, but she supports them wholeheartedly. She's made trips over to where they are playing in the pits of North Korea, the dungeon pits. And she has a big poster up on her wall of the Fire gaming team.
The Fire gaming team.
It's
Oh, it's not a real thing. Don't search it up. It doesn't exist.
I thought it was a real thing, and I was like, really, North Korea has a gaming team?
well, soon.
North Korea has
Have you guys seen the North Korean video game?
What North Korean video game? Explain it to her.
It's I think it's like a quote unquote racing game through Pyongyang.
God, who would want to race through Pyongyang?
If you
You're not
crash
racing.
into the statue of the glorious leader, you're essentially the camps for...
And then the rest of the game is a prison escape game. Oh, that would be my ideal game, remember? A game
you
that changes.
can't win.
No, you can't.
Thing
Is that literally it?
If you do escape, then the great leader Kim Jong Un is there to stop you, and you can't beat him.
No, thing is, with a North Korean racing game, I just imagine it's like some really starving North Koreans just like running barefoot across the pavement. Because the thing is, they can't actually afford any cars.
I don't think you're allowed to have cars. I don't think it's a problem of affording them.
Right.
I think they're just not allowed to have them.
expect like only the people who deserve the cars get cars to keep the roads clear.
Ow!
What?
And such.
Did you just get that bunt, like that big bump?
No.
Well, I'm just like bouncing on my bed right now, and I just smacked my head against the ceiling.
Very good.
Right. Very good.
I have a question,
Yeah.
Grego. What do I do for the banner?
What?
I've got.
I'm thinking, something simple. All you really need to do is maybe like it can be a white background, our profile pictures lined up beside each other, and down underneath us maybe some text that reads "Late Night Shyamalan." Something simple.
Greg, you are reading the chat, right? Are there people talking in the chat?
Yeah, there has been stuff posted in the chat. The most notable thing being said by Flipsheet, saying "gay," really gay. So I think with that input from our loyal and dedicated fans, I feel like it's a sign.
You can take. Sorry.
I feel like it's a sign we should be an LGBTQISC podcast,
Yes. I do think this as well. You can take the MP4 off of here so that we can, upload it separately.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, cool. That's nice.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I have 70% faith that we'll actually be able to upload this. Now, some may say that 70% isn't a particularly large number. And if I'm being fully honest, you know what? That's right.
It's not a big number if you're judging by 200%.
Exactly. Wait. That's not how...
Oh, shoot, bro.
If 200% is 100% and 70% is only
It'd be
Yeah.
35%.
I don't know.
So, I have 35% faith.
What's half of 35%? That's right.
Yeah, so I have 35% faith that I can actually upload this to YouTube.
But if 200
Very cool.
if 35% compared to 200% is what 70% is compared to 100%,
Yes.
then surely you're actually going to be doing half of 35%, which is what? 15,
That'd be...
17.5%?
Yeah,
You're actually a 17.5% certain.
honestly, I know you can clip stuff on Twitch. I don't know how to do that.
Very cool.
Although I'm pretty sure that after we're done live streaming this, it'll upload the video to YouTube. Now, I might be wrong here. Might be so don't quote me on that. Okay?
You know, I found something interesting the other day. I'm going to talk about it. This is gonna lead us onto a longer spiel, hopefully, because otherwise it's just awkward silence and the sound of chewing. But have you guys ever heard?
What are you talking about?
Have you guys ever heard of the Baader Meinhof effect?
No,
No.
I haven't. Although
It's
it
called-
sounds German.
It's also called the frequency illusion. So it's like, you've probably seen it in action before. It's like when you see a yellow car and you're like, I've never seen that yellow car before, and then for the rest of the day, all you see is yellow cars of the exact type.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you buy a new poster or something, and then all you see online is advertisements for that poster.
Yeah.
You know what I
if
mean?
You,
I mean, with
If you buy a Nintendo Switch and then all you see after that is better deals than the one you got, and then you feel progressively worse and worse about spending $500 on a bit of plastic and metal.
honestly, how much did the two of you spend on your Nintendo Switches? Just curious.
Nothing, because I beat my mother into getting it.
Five.
Okay,
That
Jesus.
didn't happen. That didn't
I
happen.
spent. I think $558 on it, but that included Mario Odyssey as well, and it was a special Mario Odyssey edition.
Yeah.
Well, this is really gonna make you guys hate yourself.
It's really
Yeah,
gonna
you
bust
know-
your nut.
Yeah, but you know
It's really gonna
Wish.com,
bake your noodle.
Hashtag
Wish.
sponsorship, not really.
Wish.com sucks.
No, thing is, I know.
What are you talking about? On Wish.com, you can get a bracelet that allows you to drink at work,
Wow.
Yeah.
and it's comically oversized.
Yeah.
It's at the point where it doesn't look like a bracelet anymore.
Yeah, it's like really obvious that it's not a real bracelet and that you're probably hiding like a donut or a bagel in it, maybe.
Alright, well, anyway, what's the Nintendo Switch cost on Wish.com?
On Wish.com, for a Nintendo Switch with 3 games included, you can
3 games?
Yeah, 3 whole games. You can get that for $35.
Oh!
Like, gonna be honest.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, honestly, that's a really good deal. Like, I'm not sure.
What's the shipping?
I believe shipping is $600.
There we go.
Like, I'm pretty sure the shipping is like comically overpriced.
Classic.
Can I keep talking about the Baader Meinhof
sure,
effect because it's
I'm
really
actually
interesting?
kind of interested about this.
Right, so the frequency illusion is basically, so for me anyway, that's proof, or that's the most definitive proof that I have that our universe is a simulation, right? Think about it, okay? I was playing GTA 5 on the PS4,
Right.
and I was also reading about it, and basically, I think in other open world games similar to it, is if you find, a car that you've been searching for a while, and then you hop in that car, you're like, oh man, I finally got this Scorpion Deluxe or whatever it is. And all you see for the rest of your playthrough is more of that car. And then you feel, like, maybe I should have seen these before. The reason why is because it's easier for a game to, it's easier on the programming to allow the game to generate the same car over and over again than it is to generate, different cars and stuff like that. So when you see a yellow car out on the road somewhere, and then all you see for the rest of the day is yellow cars, it's not because you're only noticing them, now that you've seen one, because that would, that would make much more sense. But it's actually because the programming that builds this massive universe that we're living in, that has, it's like really, really high-powered computers, but for some reason, it can only, code for the same type of car or burger or whatever it is that you've seen.
That actually, Sorry,
that would imply that there's only one person in the universe.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, okay.
Do you not believe that though? That you're the only person in the universe, and that everybody else is just a clone or a simulation?
But I also think that I could be a simulation and also be conscious. So
it's like the egg theory. Have you ever heard of that?
No. I'm guessing.
Gonna talk
Yeah,
about
all these.
another theory. It's the story. The guy who wrote The Martian.
Yeah.
Andy Weir, or whatever his name is.
It's
Weir.
a great book.
It is a great book, but he wrote a short story called The Egg. The Egg.
Right.
And
yeah,
from it is the egg theory, which is basically like. So this guy, I'll tell you do you mind spoilers? There's spoilers coming up for the egg by anywhere.
Yeah, carry on.
Well, basically, this guy is in a car crash and he dies and he goes to heaven, which is not really heaven. It's more like a little, like that massive blank white canvas world.
Yeah.
Where they're walking around and they walk forever and they go, whoa, what is this place? Am I dead? Oh my god. I'm in the afterlife, like that, and then they meet like an old man with a wizen. He's got a beard and he's got really wrinkled skin just hanging off of his body.
He knows like everything you've done.
He knows like really complicated maths equations and stuff like that.
He knows when you've been sleeping.
No, but anyway, this guy dies and goes to this sort of white blank canvas kind of afterlife, and then he meets a guy who is actually not described. The way that the story is written is it's second person, so he's writing from a first person point of view, talking about somebody else. So it's like, you died on your way back home and you came and met me, like that. Anyway, this guy
Where does eggs come into this?
well, I'll tell you about it. It's that he talks to this guy and eventually he finds out that he is about to be reincarnated back in time to be like a Chinese peasant girl in the like the 15th century or something like that. And so
to be.
Well, that leads him on to ask. Yeah, that leads him on to asking questions about like, can I be if I'm able to be reincarnated back in time? Isn't there a possibility that I could have met my past life like before. He's like, yeah, it happens all the time. The reason why is because every single human being in this universe is just a reincarnation of you. So you make up every single being in this universe.
Oh no!
So your life is just like an intertwining sort of mass of ropes. So picture it like your timeline is just like a Gordian knot.
Yeah.
Right? You're thinking about this, and this guy, he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I am an extra dimensional being from another universe, and I've created this entire world for you. This world is an egg for you. You are like a developing god, and once you have finished however many reincarnations, the billions and billions of reincarnations that you are going to have before the Earth is, destroyed, that is when you'll finally be ready to become what I am.
Oh,
I just thought that was really interesting. It's really weird to think about.
It's probably not real though. So
No, well, it's a fictional story, Aiden. I mean, I don't think it's actually like a
obviously it's
biography.
But,
sorry.
Fucking idiot, Aiden.
Sorry.
imagine though if that was true. Like you go down to the dairy, you talk to your friend Hajib, the nice little Indian man who works here, and that's actually.
Why is it that whenever you describe another race, this is with my grandma as well, whenever another race is described, they're always little? I mean a nice little Samoan woman. I mean a nice little Asian woman. I think grandparents in general are quite racist without knowing it, and I think when you say, this is I met a nice little Indian chap, was he actually a little Indian chap, or was he just a regular-sized Indian chap?
He's like a solid,
Snake.
he's like up to my chest, so, he is actually quite a short man.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Like, he's short.
You were so short.
And that's how you know they're short. Anyways, it's just weird thinking maybe the man who wrote that book, I forgot his name already.
Andy Weir.
Andy Weir. Maybe he is that extra dimensional being, and he is trying to give us a message that, like, we're all just reincarnations of ourselves. Like, wouldn't that be crazy?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Wouldn't that just bust your nut every time you think about it?
Yes, I think it would.
Alright, Aiden, you give us a new topic of conversation now. It's got to be really long, okay?
Alright.
Yeah, we gotta stretch this out to an hour. We've already been talking for 40 minutes.
Have we already been talking for 40 minutes?
Yeah, and we've maintained, like, above 4 viewers. Well,
I
above
reckon
3 viewers most of the time, which...
How many viewers does it take per video to get us onto Twitch affiliate?
Alright, so to get Twitch affiliate, first we need to hit 50 followers.
Cool.
We need
Okay.
We need to stream about... I think we need to do somewhere around... we need to do many hours of streaming. We need to get an average of 3 viewers at least for a month straight. So that'd involve streaming like 30 times in a month or something. Like, you need to stream a decent bit.
Yeah.
So
You need to have at least 500 total minutes broadcast in the last 30 days, at least 7 unique broadcast days in the last 30 days, an average of 3 concurrent viewers over more than the last 30 days.
So unique broadcast days means we wouldn't just be streaming on Sundays like we are now. We'd be streaming on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, a range of different days. Because, we need to show that we are worth getting money, we're putting enough effort into this, to the point where, we deserve to be paid for our craft,
Yes.
But I'm very lazy.
Well, yes, but think about
Okay.
it.
I guess I don't actually have to do anything but just talk.
Yeah, and think about it, 40 minutes has already passed, and to be honest, this has been a good time, we've talked about eggs, we've talked about M. Night
The Baader
Shyamalan.
Meinhof effect. We've talked about Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Pudding.
And whatever else you guys talked about. Sorry, Aiden, we got distracted. What were you saying?
Yeah.
What I should have done while you guys got distracted was think of a topic. I did not do that.
God damn it, Aiden.
So what's your favourite part about me?
I love
Your ample buttocks.
Yes, I love the way your sweat glistens off of your forehead like morning dew under the sunlight.
I bet you love the way that your tongue feels currently inside your mouth. It's not
I do.
uncomfortable at all.
I do actually, yes.
I bet you're really aware of your breathing right now, about how, like, you're breathing in and out.
I'm not
Isn't
sure
that
what
cool?
you're trying to do to Aiden, Alex, but
That's
honestly,
Man,
no.
I'll
you're
tell
just
you.
having that effect on me, like now.
I'll tell you another thing. I bet you're really, really like in tune with your body. You can probably feel all the different itches, the little tiny itches all over your
Oh,
body.
thank you.
I love that. I love that.
The tiny little twinges on the surface of your skin.
Stop!
Yes,
damn
I
it.
bet right now you can feel the little itch on the back of your knee.
I
Yeah.
can't
Hey,
feel
I'm
the
gonna
itch in
itch
the
that
back
right
of my
now.
knee, but, God, I feel
yes.
uncomfortable all over.
Oh!
And think
What a
about
great
it,
place.
like the entire like 3 or 4 people who are watching this now probably furiously scratching themselves, thinking like, Jesus,
What power?
fuck, why did I watch this? Also, Aiden, I gotta say,
Reality
That
can be
right
whatever
there.
I want.
is a terrific banner you've made.
Thank you.
Hey, speaking of banners, why are the curtains in our thumbnail so wet?
What?
Oh my god.
I just noticed that.
It's like internal.
Why do you have to mention that?
It's like my stomach's putting on a show.
Your stomach does put on a show. When you blush, the lining of your stomach blushes. So that's you can
What
just
a
tell.
great thing to know.
Well, I mean, if you think somebody's blushing, but you're not really that sure, just look at the lining of the.
Oh god.
Okay,
Oh.
Jacob, do you have a topic of
This is-
conversation?
A topic of conversation. Well, I'm just thinking here, because, we're in 2019, and I'm not sure about you guys.
Yes, that is correct. The year is currently 2019.
We are indeed in 2019. But have you, been paying attention to the movies, I guess movies, like TV shows and movies, that are gonna be coming out this year?
No,
Because, honestly,
only the Marvel movies.
oh yeah, but myself personally, I have been really looking forward to 2 games in particular. Have you guys seen Cyberpunk, the trailer or gameplay for
Oh yeah,
Cyberpunk?
yeah. I'm pretty interested in that. I might get it.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's
Cyberpunk 2027. 2070.
It's based on a tabletop board game that I want to host it for us
Yeah.
at some point. But anyways, it's based in
Yeah.
the future where essentially industry and technology has just completely taken over.
So it's just Cyberpunk.
Just
Yeah.
a general cyberpunk world,
just
yeah.
a general cyberpunk world. Anyways, what I found really interesting about this is that I wouldn't be surprised if that's how our world went to, at least not in its over the top industrial aspect. But you look at stuff in it, and they have many interesting things that sort of, in some ways, it relates to that the frequency theory you were talking about earlier.
The Baader Meinhof effect.
Yeah, the Baader Meinhof effect, where in this future, everyone has cyber implants and chips in their mind, and so it's possible to read what you're thinking. So essentially imagine if what Facebook and stuff are doing now, where they're selling off your information. Imagine if that was done to a wider spectrum, where companies, like these tech companies, were selling off your thoughts to these product companies.
Imagine a world where companies sell your thoughts.
And what happens with that is, you walk around and you see all these hand-tailored ads made specifically for you.
So if you think, oh, I could really use a ham and cheese sandwich right now.
Yeah, you'll be like, hey, come down to Joey's Bakery. We got the best ham and cheese sandwiches around.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. But
I don't care about my privacy.
you don't care about your privacy, so
Not
you would
really.
just sell off images of yourself to Facebook to Mark
Well, I want to
Zuckerberg.
make money off of it myself.
Right, but you wouldn't.
I
be-
would sell my own information.
Thing is, you wouldn't be making money off of it. You'd be losing money because you'd see all these compelling ads handmade for you to get like a fizzy drink from the vending machine down the road. Like, imagine
Okay.
that.
Is it a good fizzy drink?
I mean, do you like grape fizzy drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like grape?
Like,
Okay. Since we're getting so deep today,
this is a deep
What do you-
philosophical.
yeah,
conversation.
I've
We've got 7 watchers now.
Have we
Cool.
got 7 what?
There aren't even 7 people online. Oh, there are. Never mind.
Okay, I was gonna
Okay.
say Jesus. Oh boy.
anyway, I have a proposition.
Hmm.
Do you guys think that like if there's like an AI uprising, whatever, wouldn't be too bad? I mean, they're probably going to be better than us.
Thing is though, Aiden, the
Yeah.
fact that we would be so obsolete to robots, chances are they'll either kill us or sell us into slavery.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Too
but
bad.
Personally, that idea isn't particularly appealing to me. Like, call me crazy.
I know, but like,
I
if you
don't
think
want-
about it,
I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords.
exactly. If you think about it objectively,
Hmm.
they're essentially us, except they
Better.
can function as like one being. so
They're,
that
they're
they-
essentially us, but they can function consistently as one
Yeah.
being in harmony with the
And
whole world.
they're not selfish. So
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
The world is not in harmony right now, but I'll tell you the greatest example of that is the fact that none of the sizes across any of the stores, Asian
Oh my
Asian
god!
Asian large is US very small.
Wait,
Jesus.
It's terrible.
Oh.
It's the worst. UK medium is like US extra medium.
do you know what really annoys me?
Extra medium.
Do you know what really annoys me?
What?
When they use numbers.
Oh,
I don't know what the
yeah.
number means.
47. What does 47
Yeah.
mean?
I think it's,
Compared to what?
Is 47 large? Yes. Why not just put large?
Yeah.
Yeah, but 47 has less digits, but
It's not extra.
you just had to explain
it's
what
not the
47
scale.
means.
No, I
Extra,
think-
extra small.
I think
The extra,
with that,
extra large one.
what it is it's like your chest size. But the thing is, does anyone actually know what the fucking chest size is?
No!
Like,
Yep, I do.
do you, Alex? Would you care to share with us?
It's medium.
But no, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what it is. It's like the diameter of your torso.
The convenience of the small to large system means that some guy can go into the store and see an extra extra large shirt and say, "I'm an extra extra large person. I need this shirt."
Yeah, but
Whereas
then-
if you have 47, you can't say, "Oh, I've come into the store. I'm a 47-year-old. I need this shirt," or "I'm a 47 size. I need this shirt."
Hmm.
There should be a chart up on every wall.
yeah.
Every wall. Every wall needs to have this chart.
No,
Really
what
tearing
I think
down.
it should have is they
Tearing
we're
down
at
the
9
boundaries
viewers,
of
we're almost
society.
at double digits. One more viewer, guys. Anyways, what I think should have it should be like if it's between like 47 to 57, then it's a small. Like if it did that, I'd be fine with it. It'd make so much sense, and it'd also be a learning experience because I'd now know how large my
I didn't-
chest is.
I didn't come for a learning experience. I came. to
I
get a
didn't come
shirt.
for a personal attack on our society.
I'm sorry. But this is getting too close to the bone. It's getting too deep.
Yo, I've
yeah.
got 2 more topics of conversation left.
We're
What do
at
you guys
15
have?
minutes.
I'm,
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna save these
Yeah.
bad boys.
if I'm being honest,
Oh, we've got to keep some M Night Shyamalan content for the next episode.
For some, okay. How about we watch a movie
no,
directed by
because
him?
that's how we get
Let's watch-
copyright strike, Aiden.
Well, no, we're not gonna watch it on the stream. Or watch it on like Rabbit or something.
The thing is, I really don't want to. His movies just have like a boring aura to me, even though I haven't watched one.
If I'm being
You should
honest,
watch. Oh man, dude, you should watch Signs. Like honestly, it's really good.
What's it about?
It's the one where Mel Gibson is a farmer along with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
they're
Joaquin
farmers.
Phoenix is such a good
They're
one.
farmers on a farm, and this Mel Gibson used to be like a priest or something, but he got in a. I can't remember what happened to him. Something happened to him that stopped him from being
Out of the covenant. That's
Yeah.
what happened. Anyway,
But
I don't need to watch it now.
basically, like, hold on. Yep. They're farmers on this farm. He's his brother, I think, and he's also got his young son and daughter with him. At least I think he's got his and like aliens start coming down. They find crop circles in their cornfields, and aliens start coming down, stuff like that. Right? It's a generic plot, except for the fact that it's like genuinely scary and tense.
is it?
Like yeah, well,
Because it kind of
the
sounds
thing
like
is-
Mars Attack, if I'm being honest.
it's not like silly at all. It's really, I don't know. There's some quality about it which I'm not sure. And there's the classic M. Night twist at the end.
Right, where it turns out that was all just a dream. And
Oh,
that
not
it was an alien
so much,
who
but
was
you know how
really
he's
clever.
famous for having like super big twists. But
Yeah, like
and what's even better is that there's multiple twists, but one of the
wow.
twists is actually just implied. Like it's never specifically stated, but you can
Right.
tell. Kind of.
Is this one of the topics?
I mean, it's a
I'm sorry.
Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
All right.
no, but you brought up Joaquin Phoenix earlier, and I just want to know: have you guys seen like the clips for the Joker movie that he's gonna be in?
Yeah. Have you seen the theory that like actually he's not Joker?
Yeah, he's like,
Are you okay?
Gee, why are you laughing?
Just find it really funny.
Apparently. Calm
Game
yourself.
was Razor.
Jesus.
No, so I just
Holy shit,
drank.
we're at 10 viewers.
I drank
Double
water the wrong
digits.
way.
Ah,
No,
you-
we genuinely don't have 10 viewers online. 10 people online? How?
I
How?
Oh, it's
I think
random.
I posted in a
3,
couple
4,
of other Discords,
5, 6,
that's possible.
7, 8, 9, 10. No, we have got 10 people
No, are
online.
you counting ourselves?
I am counting ourselves.
Because
Right.
we're all watching.
I'm watching it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm watching it on all 10 of my accounts.
Really, we're just talking to ourselves this entire
so
time.
Joker movie.
Yeah. So back to the Joker movie. I don't know why, but I'm really excited for it. Like I've sort of learnt to not be excited for DC movies. After.
But it's not a DC movie though, is it? It's just a DC adaptation.
Right.
Because it's not actually in the DC extended
Right.
universe.
It's like part of the outer universe.
Yeah, like The Dark Knight was not a DC movie, but it was a DC adaptation.
Yeah.
Well, it's a DC movie, but it's not a DC cinematic universe movie.
Or the DC
No.
EU movie. Yeah.
The Deku.
Yeah, a Deku movie. But, yeah, anyways, God, I've lost my train of thought with this. Where was I?
You're really excited for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm, like, because Joaquin Phoenix, right, he is a really good
He's
actor.
batshit crazy though, isn't he?
Like-
So he's perfect to be
Yeah,
the Joker.
I honestly, and from what from the clips of like the leaks from the movie I've seen, honestly, the character he's created, it looks a lot more than a sort of one-dimensional character, and that interests me.
Arthur Fleck.
Yeah. Because I think it can widely be agreed that Heath Ledger, out of all the Jokers, he is the best Joker, right?
Hopefully he will remain the best, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
no, actually, I like with all due respect to Heath Ledger, he did it was an incredible performance as the Joker.
Yeah.
But I seriously hope that at some point in the future there will be a better performance.
Oh yeah, of course, because that'd be kind of let down if no one ever compares to that, and I think that'd discourage a lot of actors from taking
God,
on
it's
the
like
role.
it's like if you were to one day receive knowledge that the best day in your life was a random day 7 years ago. That was the best day you'll ever have in your entire life.
Mm.
God, that would be just such like a horrible thing to happen.
Yeah. But honestly, I do think from watching the clips that Joaquin Phoenix could do a better Joker.
You know what? I'm
Unlike Jared Leto, who's
What are
a
you
bloody
excited for?
hoodlum gangster.
Jared Leto was horrible.
Yeah, I hated him.
Aiden, what are you excited for?
I'm excited for Godzilla.
Are
Godzilla!
they still making Godzilla movies?
Well, it's another legendary one. It's Godzilla King of the Monsters, where it has Mothra, has Rodan, it has King Ghidorah.
Is
Or whatever
King
his
Kong
name is.
gonna be in here?
No, he's next year.
Dinosaur.
King Kong versus Godzilla is next year, but
Wait,
King
really?
Kong.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I think Toto gets him back. It's just so we can see more OG.
Can we have Godzilla versus Alien?
Yeah. Yeah.
Godzilla versus Predator.
I
Godzilla
wonder
versus.
who'd win
Oh
Alien
my
versus
god,
Predator.
can you imagine if a face hugger somehow... No, that wouldn't happen, never mind.
Wait, what? A face
I was just
hugger
imagining the cross between if a face hugger were to latch onto Godzilla, onto
it's
like
a
his
really
ass
big
or something.
face hugger.
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe they need to like progressively they need to work their way up through bigger and bigger face huggers. Like the xenomorph needs to infect like Andre the Giant or something, and then
Oh.
Andre the Giant needs to lay an egg which has a slightly larger face hugger.
I watched a documentary on Andre the Giant, and honestly, I just feel bad for the guy. Like,
Yeah, he was like subject to sort of unconscious discrimination all throughout his life. Was like
Yeah.
you with the little Asian people.
yeah. Anyways, with speaking of Andre the Giant, I think most of us we want to be, quite tall. We'd rather-
Gigantic.
Yeah, we'd rather be tall than short, right? But
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
being really tall would just be absolutely awful. Because
I will tell you, right? Not to toot my own horn here,
right,
but I'm quite tall.
yeah, but Andre the Giant, he was like
Andre the Giant was like
7
7 feet tall though.
Yeah, there are people.
Also, have you seen the thing which is like he went with this guy was like hired to pick him up in a car and drive him around town wherever he wanted to go,
Yeah.
right? So this guy picks him up and they go on the way to the match where he's going to. Andre's like, I need beer.
Oh, and he
and then-
drinks like.
Well, then he
40
goes into the
cans
store and he
of
like
beer.
brings in like a 6-pack of beer and he's like, more beer. And then he brings him like 2 other 6-packs and then he just like crushes them all and drinks the whole lot.
Yeah, he in a single night it was said he drank like 4 bottles of wine, 20 to 40 cans of beer. Like, he was so heavy and immensely large that he could drink just gallons and gallons without, even getting tipsy.
I mean,
Or
Yeah.
like,
I tell you what it is getting tipsy right now,
what?
and that is this stream, which seems to be
Yeah.
drawing to a close.
It's getting quite late at night.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
11:49 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Because at the start I said it was 11:06 or something like that. So now I've dated it, so people
Oh,
know
We've
how.
actually been going for an hour and 2 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
so,
nice.
Maybe we should aim for 2 hours.
I mean,
No.
should
we
I mean,
No,
I have
no,
this special
no.
scene
shouldn't.
made specifically for going on break, so we could go on like a 10-minute break.
Let's
Have a
not
drink.
let's not do
Let's not do that. Maybe we can have like a longer stream at some point in the future. But I
Yeah,
say
once-
for now.
Once we actually have like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I reckon that this was a good sort of practice stream.
Test, yeah.
But,
I would say that.
Please try and extract the MP4 file so that I can,
yeah.
you know,
I will
put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I will do.
Just so it's like, you know, it's catalogued so that it's not like the video doesn't just disappear.
But
Alright.
anyways, this is where we'll be ending the stream. Went for a whole hour. We
Thank
talked
you.
about many insightful theories and...
What did we talk about?
I
Andre the
don't
Giant.
know.
Andre the Giant. Unbreakable.
Cyberpunk.
Baader Meinhof effect.
We talked about... We briefly touched on putting a giant ice cube in the ocean.
I kind of just zoned out.
You just went into autopilot mode.
Yeah.
where-
Anyway, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I is not
no.
Aiden.
Please subscribe to PewDiePie.
Yeah.
We want him to beat T-Series.
Honestly, to all,
Oh,
to all like
epic.
7, how many people watching this, subscribe to PewDiePie. We are going to get him to 100 million. Not Mr. Beast, not anyone else. Us exclusively are going to be the people that propel
You're welcome.
PewDiePie to 100 million.
You're welcome in advance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Alright, goodbye.